Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel proved that you can make good video games that are based off of card games, but what about card games that are based off of video games? That's what we're going to be talking about today, a card game that I randomly saw on the shelf in a random store one time, and the box itself convinced me I had to check this out. This is Boss Monster. So what is Boss Monster anyway? Well, it's a game where each player gets a boss card, and your goal as the boss is to build the most dangerous dungeon. Each dungeon will have its own various treasures, which will draw in heroes to come in, try to claim the treasure, and slay the boss. But these dungeons will also be built up and filled with traps, with the sole purpose of making sure that these heroes don't leave this dungeon alive. The first boss whose dungeon can claim the souls of 10 heroes wins the game. But if 5 heroes manage to make it to the final boss and do damage against them, then it's game over. Now this is a fairly simple game. Each turn the player will either grow their dungeon or upgrade it and play various spell cards that can either attract certain heroes to your dungeon or send them to another player's dungeon, or you can completely sabotage another player's dungeon directly. The focus early in the game is to try to get your dungeon as effective as possible because at the beginning it will be quite small. But as your dungeon grows and becomes more powerful, you'll start shifting your strategy over to going after the other players as opposed to being worried about the hero coming and damaging your boss. Basically, you go from not wanting the heroes to come to your dungeon to wanting every hero to come to your dungeon. Now, I hope you noticed when I showed you the box earlier that it looks very much like an old NES game cartridge box. Every card in this set uses this 2D pixel art style, and it looks really good. And what's also fun about this art style is that some of the cards are just direct references to well-known video games. This one is called Chump Chomper, which is clearly just a chain chomp with no eyes. This one's called Warp Tube, and I can already feel Nintendo's lawyers drafting up that cease and desist. Block Pile Puzzle is just Tetris. I mean, it just is. There's a Monster Room card called Centipede Tunnel, and I'm pretty sure that's just the centipede from Centipede. King Croak is almost certainly a reference to Wart from Super Mario Bros. 2, or Link's Awakening for all you Zelda fans out there. Speaking of Zelda, here's Porcus, the Pig King of the Thieves. And come on, if you're gonna do this many Nintendo references, then you may as well go for the big boys too. Here's the brothers, Red and Green. Now to be honest, I don't really know how popular this game is or isn't. I never really have seen anybody talk about it anywhere before. And yet I feel like they had to have had some level of success because they did release an expansion to the game featuring many bosses, as well as a complete sequel called Boss Monster 2. In my opinion, I think it's a cute little game. You probably wouldn't be too interested in it if you're not a fan of the art style of retro 2D pixel video games, but if you are, I think it's worth checking out at least once. I mean, I'm pretty happy that I have these sets, if for no other reason than so I can look at the cards every now and then. What do you guys think about Boss Monster? Have you ever played this game before? If you have, what did you think about it? Do you guys know of any other types of card games like this that take inspiration from or are designed to be tributes to video games? Let me know in the comments if you know of a few. Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a very important question. What is parity law? I just hope that whoever created this game knows the answer to that question, because Alex Trebek don't look too happy.